All right, so this is going to be part 2 of, I think I was calling it warning. So, even then, with that car situation, I look back and think about how blessed I was. Now I didn't have to rely on people to come pick me up or, be at the mercy of people. And again, I appreciated that car. I got it going, and I even went back. I took the car back like the next day after it was actually, I'm sorry, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, because we stopped by there and I got a tag and I put it on it. As soon as I got the tag on, I drove it down there and I said, look, I got it running. And he's like, really? I said, what was wrong with it? And I said, the battery terminal, the cable was broke. And I put a new terminal on it, and I said, do you want me to give you some money for it? And he goes, no, I gave it to you. He said, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And it's where I said, yes, I really appreciate it. Well, later on in life, I tried to start a business then doing lawn care and stuff, and I didn't know a lot about landscaping then. I was just mainly doing lawns. And I pulled up, and it was springtime, and I bid it and wanted to know if he was taking bids, and he said, yeah. And now, granted, I mowed his lawn every week, so, I mean, think about it. He knows my work. He knows what I'm capable of doing. And I wasn't too good at bidding then. I didn't really know. I just thought, man, if it took me, I knew how long some of these yards took. And, I'm thinking, if I could make more than what I was making doing anything else, but I was still working full time. So, granted, most of the time it was dark when we got in. Saturdays, most of the time it was easy, half a day or whatever. Some of them might have to ask them, do you mind if I come on Sundays? Some of them told me no. And I know that if anything, I would work half a day or drive behind, whatever, on Saturdays. But I would make sure I got there. Summertime stayed lighter out anyway, so it didn't really matter. But he ended up giving me the mowing deal, and I told him I didn't have a lot of landscape experience, so he kept the original company that I worked for. Ironic thing is, I'd end up coming sometimes and doing that on the weekends. So that being said, I had an old beat up truck. I mean, I don't even know how I didn't get pulled over half the time. But I ended up, make a long story short, I ended up mowing the guy's yard all summer long, and then fall came, the company that I worked for, we were able to do the leaves more with him, so he just hired him on to do the leaves, and we already talked about all this. So through that, my last month of mowing, I didn't charge him. I gave him a bill and I said, thank you for the car. I appreciate it. And this is my way of showing my appreciation to you. And I did do a lot of the leaves and stuff. I was able to do a lot of, because he had a big drop back there, and I borrowed one of the big blowers from work. So basically, we only had a month of blowing leaves there, and I gave back to someone that gave to me, and this is why I'm doing a lot of these videos, trying to warn people what God has given, and there's so many things that are going on that the Lord keeps telling me, be watchful for. And I've seen this one event that's taking place, exposure, and I really believe the White House is going to be exposed. I really believe a lot of this corruption that they're doing is going to be exposed, and that's what's happening with all these areas and stuff, that things are just appearing out of nowhere. It's exposure. God's revealing the water per se. He's taking water away and showing. I remember coming over the Mississippi Bridge, and I've never like my wife said, she goes, it might have been a bridge at one time. And I'm thinking, made out of rocks like that? I mean, they're like round stones. I mean, it's weird. And but I'm sitting there looking at it going, it can be. It could be. It could be an old one. I don't know. But I didn't realize how deep the Mississippi River is. And that's just in the section where it is, because you can see where the water was. And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty deep. But yet it's still in the middle because I seen a boat crossing under there in the middle. So it's still got to be pretty deep for a big boat like that to come through. And I'm like, dang, how deep is this? How deep is life sometimes? How deep is your life? You know, I don't claim to know everything, people, but I've been through a lot. And I don't know. I got a lot of knowledge on things and a lot of wisdom. I pray for a lot of different areas. And I just pray that I can help someone. You know, lead somebody into a different direction, a different life. You know, like I said, if you're constantly posting sad things on social media stuff and change, I want this and that, well then change. But I tell you what, if you can't do it on your own, don't rely on family. Don't rely on friends. Don't rely on some fake person. Rely on God. Rely on His Son, Jesus Christ. Rely on Him and give you everything. That's where I was going. When you surrender to Jesus, you know, He told me a while back, He said, and I was like, Lord, I don't understand. He said, because you haven't yet given me 100%. You're still holding on to things. And I said, well, Lord, how do I know when you're holding on to this stuff? And He said, because when you're still focused on it, you haven't delivered it to me. And I want 100%. I want you to give me 100% of everything and let me deal with it. Okay. So you just move on. People are going to be people. The devil's going to keep repeating because he knows if it's hurt you and it still hurts you, he's going to continue to hurt you with it. Because that's just the devil. That's what he does. But if you're over it, and there's a lot of things I'm over. A lot of things it sickens me anymore, and it's troublesome. But you just look at it and go, it sucks. Your life sucks, and I'm sorry for it. You know, you can have such a better life, but if you're not willing to move forward out of that life, and you're going to sit in that lifestyle, and you're going to sit there and go, well, now whose fault is it? It's no one's but your own. And unfortunately, if you don't allow the change to come into your life, if you don't allow this new coming of what's coming, then you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck, and you're going to get left here, and you're going to have to go through whatever comes. And most likely, you're not going to surrender to Jesus, because when they show you what's going to happen and how you're going to, only way you're going to receive it, see, you repent now and you go through life living a sinful life, and it can be done. You gotta let Jesus prune off a lot of stuff out of your life, but it can be done. And be repentful, because at the end you're not going to go to God and go, well, God, let me plead my case. You're a loving God. No, it's not going to work that way. It's not even going to work that way, because you're going to be standing here on earth, and God's going to send Christ back with the angels and all the people that He rescued out of here. They're all going to be standing there, and you're just going to be one big swoof into hell. There is going to be no more judgment. You're not going to be able to plead a case, because that's what Jesus does. He pleads your case to God every time you're repenting, every time you're asking Jesus for help. Well, let me ask you something. If every day I came to you and I said, hey, can you help me? Can I sleep on the couch tonight? Hey, can you help me out with a little bit of money? Hey, can you give me a ride to work? Hey, can you pick me up and do this? Hey. And you're constantly doing. Now, 6 months, a year later, hey, man, I'm really kind of down, you know. Do you have any of that money that I lent to you? Well, yeah, but I got to do this and that, you know. Or, hey, can I get some gas or something, you know, food, whatever it may be. And you're not willing to do it, because all you want is help. And that's what you use God for. I did a big teaching on an ATM, using God as an ATM. And the devil deleted it, but it's okay. I'm going to do it again. I promise. I've been working on it. You know, it's been a while, because you got to understand, some of these videos, when I write stuff down on paper, when I start doing these videos, I'm hearing stuff, and I'm speaking what the Lord wants me to speak, and I have to go back and listen to him myself, because I'm amazed by a lot of the stuff that the Lord speaks, and I'm just repeating as he's giving it to me. And it's so awesome. That's one thing I love about these videos, and that's one thing I love about doing them, because I'm glad that these things are going to reach someone, and it's going to change someone's life. It's going to make your life. You're going to start looking at your life like you're that somebody that God called. You were a nobody, and God called you to be a somebody. And all I can say is, hey, welcome to the Somebody Club, where we're all the same. We're all equal. And you don't have to live that life anymore. You don't have to be fearful of the darkness, because the light is mightier than the darkness, and it's always been mightier, and it's always been more powerful. And that's the promises of Jesus. That's the promises of his return. That's the promise of the cross. You want to be boastful? You want to be prideful? You want to be bragging on things? Well, then there you go. Brag about the cross. Be boastful of that cross. Send up blessings to Jesus and God. Send up thanksgiving. Be praising that, and be boastful of that. And then you got something to really brag about. If Jesus is the most important thing in your life, then why are you so ashamed to talk about it? Why? And if you rely on Jesus, you say you trust in Jesus, you know Jesus, then why are you so shameful to follow? Because you're afraid what your neighbor's going to think, your spouse is going to think, your children are going to think of you. Well, let me tell you what, they got their own thoughts anyways. So give it up. No excuse. I told you guys, I don't sugarcoat stuff, because you don't need sugarcoat. If that's the case, turn on the TV and turn on these evangelists that are going to tell you anything you want to hear. Hey, they may even sell you some stuff. That stuff ain't going to help you. It's going to help them, but it ain't going to help you. Because if you're not reading it, you stop believing in it, and it's not working, then what good is it? Just saying. If I sold you a battery-powered piece of equipment, and there's no battery and no charger, what good is it? What if I sold you the same piece of equipment and it had a charger but no battery? It does you no good. You'll never know if it works until you go buy a battery. Well, some of them batteries are expensive. Some of them chargers are expensive. Just saying. Used to be you bought stuff and the charger and the battery comes with it. Now some of this equipment you go buy, they don't even give you the battery or the charger. That's ridiculous. They just want to make more money, because they think most people already have like power tools or something, and you're just going to use the battery to supply that. One of your batteries to supply that. Well, I tell you, if you went out and bought a cordless weed trimmer, weed whacker, string trimmer, whatever you want to call them, you went out and bought one of those, I recommend you buy the same. If you have power tools, you go out and buy the same one that you have, because the battery's going to work. But I also tell you this. If you have to go buy a battery and the charger, take a look at the kits that they have in these stores. You might be able to find that battery and that charger and a bunch of extra tools, drills, and stuff that goes with all that for the same price you're going to pay for that battery, charger, and that battery. I'm just being truthful. Or you can go to the store that I like to go to, and people call me crazy and saying it's junk tools, and I am going to shout out the name on that one. And no, I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything on this, but I'm just saying I love that store. Harbor Freight, awesome. Once in a while I do get a warranty on stuff, but hardly ever. There's only one item that I actually took a warranty out on once, and I wish I didn't do it because it didn't work. It ended up breaking way even after the warranty, but it was on my own fault. I dropped it off the tailgate, and it broke. It wasn't their stuff fault, but I did have an issue once, and I took it back in there, and I didn't have a warranty, and I just took a shot in the dark, and I'm trying to find the receipts, and I didn't do this deliberately. I had my folder with me, and I took it into the store because we were renovating a home, and I'm flipping through the receipts trying to find the receipt, and the manager looked at me and goes, Is all them receipts from here? And I said, yeah, this whole section, all this stuff. He said, man, don't worry about it. Just put the thing here. Go pick up the same item. We don't have it. Go ahead and upgrade it to the next deal, and we'll call it a day. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And it's not because I took all the receipts in there, because I stand on their stuff. I bought Snap-on stuff, and the ratchets were junk. I had to argue with the guy, the Snap-on dealer that go around, and then I used to call them the paper trucks and box trucks, you know. You'll see them all the time on the road with the lift gates and stuff on there. I argue with the dude. He's like, oh, how do I know you bought that one off of me? Because it's your number. Look, it matches the receipt. Wouldn't take it back. Craftsman. Well, when Sears was open, you could take them back in there, they'd exchange it. But Sears is closed. So now you're stuck with a bunch of broken garbage. Somebody says you can go online, and then you got to go through a whole ordeal with that. And I sent one in, I never did get anything back. So, y'all buy what you want. I'm going to Harbor Freight. And again, I swear to you, I'm not getting any kicks off of Harbor Freight. There's a lot of things in Harbor Freight that I want to get, you know, because like I said, we just purchased a house and got a garage and stuff, and I don't know, I just like toys, you know. I just like getting stuff and doing stuff around the house. I enjoy it. We got a beautiful home, and God blessed us so much. Blessed, you know. And the crazy thing is, at the beginning of this year, the Lord said, I'm going to bless you with an increase in financial. And He did. And we was able to, and I had to leave a company that I did like the company, but they started treating me like crap. And I noticed every time the Lord does this, He's moving me on. And even as much as I don't want to leave a company sometimes because I like the company, or, you know, I like something about it, but I follow what the Lord tells me. So it led me back into another company I worked for, and it started off great, and the honeymoon season was over, and it just went crazy. But I was thankful because I got to be home every weekend, so I put up with it. But the money wise, it wasn't so great. So we buy this house, and I know sometimes we allow thoughts to go in our heads, and we shouldn't. We should rely on God that He's going to provide, because He led us into this house. And we pray, God, please don't let us enter any agreement or enter into anything that is not going to be good for us. And the Lord spoke again, I'm going to increase your financial situation. Gave me this job that I'm doing today. And wow, what a blessing. I mean, the paychecks are like almost 2.5 weeks it would take me working at the other place. And I'm making it in 1 week. Unbelievable, people. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, the trucks might not have all the bells and whistles, but hey, I'm okay with it. I got a charger to charge my phone. I can make these videos, and I can talk to my wife. Speaking of which, I have to call her. So I'm going to wrap this video up so I can talk to her for a little bit and pray with her, and I'll come back and do another one with you guys, with somebody. I don't know who eventually is going to run into these, or if it's just God allowing me to get all the stuff out of these books and tablets in my mind and onto video. I don't know, but someday somebody will. Be safe. God bless you. Love you. Talk soon.